Hi guys, I'm Kevin Kong and today we'll be reviewing 2003 Mitsubishi Airtrek Turbo. Okay, here we go. Real quick brief introduction to this car, how I came about getting this car. First of all, I used to own and drive as a daily drive Kia Sorento. 2017 Kia Sorento 2.2 turbo diesel, which is a great daily. But I felt that I needed something more exciting, but still needed the space and utilitarian usage of daily driver. So I needed to downgrade or find something more exciting, and this car fit the bill. It was between this, a Toyota Caldina, and a Subaru Forester. But I weighed my options and budget. This was the ideal car for me. Long story short, I was supposed to trade my Sorento with a used car dealer, but we made the deal, and the deal fell through. But I maintained the buying price of this car from the used car dealer, which was exorbitantly high for its condition. I bought it for 26,000 ringgit. Picked it up in the month of June 2020 and have been using it since then. So it's a review after 4 months of ownership. What has been done with the car since I picked it up was actually a lot. I spent 13,000 ringgit refurbishing it. Bought used parts, used suspension, used a bunch of used parts, used suspension, but brand new lower control arm bushers, mounting, engine mounting, rear differential carrier bush, engine mounting, yeah, I said that already, brake pads, totally revamped the air conditioning system from compressor, condenser, blower, evaporator. Everything worked pretty well. However, I didn't have a chance to test drive the car for a long period of time. I only drove it for maybe 1 kilometer around the block near the used car lot's vicinity, because it had no road tax and insurance, so couldn't tell what was shot. After taking the car back home, and within a week I realized there was so much to do. Aircon was leaking gas. 13,000 ringgit later, I have a fully reliable, nice running Mitsubishi Airtrek Turbo. Here is what I use it for. It's my daily drive as well as a weekend mountain bike carrier. I normally chuck my entire bike in here. This car is my rough used car, and it serves its purpose very well. Interior is very complete. Engine gearbox was fine. It just needed a lot of TLC. Mileage was 140,000 kilometers. Whether it's true or not, nobody knows. I added this Defi ZD into the equation. This came with the car. This boost meter came with the car, apex eye. It's a little bit off. I replaced the gear knob, replaced the center box console. As you can see, it's got a Mazda Speed MX-5 bucket seat, which I will also be replacing back to the standard seat soon. Everything else came with it. I bought new carpets. This is called the marble carpet, so I'm protecting it with the carpet that came in the car. Otherwise, car was pretty clean. No major accidents that are known of. The rear seat actually folds back up and it seats 5 people quite comfortably. Came with these rims, which are Thai knockoffs, standard brakes, and it's a full-time 4-wheel drive. Good thing about this car is it comes with a 4G63 turbo, and I will open the bonnet next. There you go. One of the main reasons why I bought this car is because of this engine and its drivetrain. It's a full-time 4-wheel drive. Comes with a similar to Evo 4G63 turbo, minus the big turbo. This comes with a TD04, which makes it very spooly. There's not much lag in it. It comes with a less aggressive cam than an Evo engine. Of course, it's the automatic Tiptronic transmission. Malaysia, we hardly ever got the manual Airtrek turbos. The new addition to this engine after I got it is a radiator bubble catch tank. I don't know whether you can see this intercooler spray, top mount intercooler spray. Intercooler is actually quite warm. And an engine oil cooler, which this car doesn't come with. I fitted it here. You cannot see it. It's behind this spotlight. This car only comes with an ATF cooler, which is on this side. I've bought a Evo 6 oil cooler adapter as well as its oil cooler. So these three things are what has been improved on this engine. This car came with a HKS SQV blow-off valve, which makes a lot of nice noises. This is my custom bubble catch can. I reinstalled a thermostat in here. This car didn't come with a thermostat. I don't know why previous owner had removed it. It came with a manual boost controller and a leaking standard radiator, which I have since refurbished. As you can see, there are a lot of sensor wires running around the engine due to my addition of the Defi ZD. The Defi ZD, by the way, is a Thai copy, which has worked pretty well. Comes with 10 sensors from exhaust temp, water temp, oil press, RPM, speed, fuel press, and a few more. Can't remember off the top of my head at the moment. This intercooler pipe is not standard, has been made. Aside from that, it's pretty stock. So why I got this car is because it's pretty standard to begin with, and there's not much that can go wrong in a standard car, right? That's what they all say. It's running gear. The front is similar to Evo's front cross member, but Evo front cross member will fit in here, and it's a good upgrade due to its stiffness and a quicker steering rack. The rear, however, is different. The rear subframe is totally different from all Evos, but the rear differential, I was told we can fit a Evo 3 rear diff in there, which will give it a LSD. But at the moment, I'm guessing from how it felt when I turned the wheel while the car was in the air, it was a viscous LSD that came with it. The car is scruffy, it's rough around the edges, paint is not perfect, but it ticked all the right boxes for me. Next, I will tell you how it drives. Okay, now I am in the driver's seat of my Airtrek Turbo. I will tell you and explain to you how it drives. One thing I've left out from the previous part of this clip is that this car standard comes with Evo 1 to 4 brakes, if I'm not mistaken. Because after the Evo 4, Evo 5 came with the 4-piston Brembo calipers. So it came with brakes equivalent to up to Evo 4. A lot of people upgrade these brakes to the Brembos, but they are not plug and play as most people think they are. You still have to buy the Evo Brembos, make an adapter, and then bolt it on to the Airtrek knuckle, unless you replace the knuckles with the Evo knuckles. However, if you do that, you will have to replace the drive shaft with the Evo drive shafts. After you do that, you will have a problem with your ride height. and that's when you really need to get adjustable suspension with body shift. If not, the ride height will be totally off. Now, going back into the interior, yeah, one of the selling points of this car is, if you notice, it has a sunroof and a moonroof. I love it. I love the moonroof. It makes the car's greenhouse much better. Even the kids sitting at the back can look up and see the sky. Love it, love it, love it. Yeah, see in the dashboard, comes with Tiptronic shifters on the steering wheel, as well as the gear knob. We can shift both on the gear knob and on the steering wheel. The interior is very basic, not a complicated dash, not a complicated interior. There's not much technology in this car in terms of modern day gadgetry and buttons to choose and poke around and help you with driver assist. There are just
very basic utilitarian.
Start the car, you'll hear the classic 4G63. Sounds like any Evo, but this is not an Evo. That's the sound of my Thai imitation Defi ZD. Turn that off, no radio. We'll start the drive. Well, the drive and feel of this car is surprisingly good for such a high center of gravity. It's got very good traction. It's comfortable in its standard, with its standard shocks and springs. At the same time, stiff enough to have spirited drives, toge drives, and nice fun mountain roads. However, I feel, my personal feeling is that this Airtrek steering rack could be better. It does have a little bit of a disconnect. It provides a lot of feedback, but it could be better. For an SUV, it's pretty good. However, I think it can be faster. The steering rack is not fast enough, and the turning circle is pretty bad, but better than an Evo. Yeah, being a four-wheel drive, of course, turning circle not so good, but better than an Evo. It's just that it's a compromise. Steering feel not so sharp, but you get better turning circle than an Evo. But it's still not as good as normal cars. So something you've got to think about. As a daily drive, aircon, after replacing every single bit of the aircon, air conditioning system with a new condenser, new compressor, new evaporator, new blower, it's super cold and I leave it on auto mode all the time. Yeah, I don't expect anything less. Fuel economy, this is the big question everybody seems to ask on how economical the car is. I have, since I bought the car came with the manual boost controller, which was set at 0.9 bar boost, and the ECU was not reflashed, but it was it had its speed limit delimited, so it would go above 180 kilometers. I never tested it. At 0.9 bar, I was getting 250 kilometers per full tank, which is a 45 to 47 liter full fuel tank. Then I thought to myself that this is ridiculous, I cannot live with that. I had the ECU reflashed, and it was a very good investment. Thanks to a couple of my friends, they introduced me to one friend in particular, actually Sean Lim. He also drives an Evo, used to have an Airtrek, has a workshop in Kapong. He pointed me the right direction and got me a good tuner, And after the reflash, I'm getting 1.1 bar boost. I don't know about horsepower, but it definitely feels much better than before. And my fuel range increased to 370 kilometers per full tank. So just from the ECU reflash, I gained 120 kilometers, 150 at worst. If I'm heavy-footed and I keep whacking, I will get 350 kilometers to a full tank at 1.1 bar. At 0.8 bar, which is what I normally set it on a normal drive, I particularly get, it's the same, yeah, not much difference there. It makes driving this car a real joy. I enjoy driving it much more than my Kia Sorento, 2017 Kia Sorento. Although the Kia Sorento had 440 Newton meters of torque and 220 horsepower on the crank, this definitely feels more fun, more agile. It's a smaller car. The compromise is that I've had to shrink in interior size. I cannot carry as many things as I used to. I don't have the luxury of chucking everything and anything into the back of my car, but it was a small compromise because this car serves me pretty well. As you can see, I've got a complete enduro mountain bike back there, 160mm travel, Santa Cruz Nomad carbon, which I didn't have to remove any wheels to put into the back. Aside from that, I don't have experienced any overheating problems. I think my thermostat and my bubble catch tank has helped with that. I do not run coolant at the moment. If I did, I probably see lower water temps. Oil temp is also spot on. I have not, to be fair, I have not pushed this car to its jagged edge of its limits yet. But I came close. It's fully loaded, 5 people in the car, going up Uluyam on a wet night, and it was fun. It gave me what I was looking for. Driving the car so far, quite enjoyable. Stock form, stock suspension, stock subframe, stock steering rack, slightly increased boost, running 0.8 bar at the moment. Stock boost, from what I hear, is 0.6 or 0.7 bar, but at this current 0.8 bar boost, it is definitely better than how I got the car. And gearbox, this is the same gearbox as the Evo 7 GTA, very similar gearbox to the Evo 9 wagon, and it's pretty fast when on manual mode. On auto mode, I have had the tuner help me tune it for economy, so it shifts gear, goes through the gears very quickly. This car normally knocks a lot without being retuned before the reflash. If you're pumping 95 RON, it'll knock a lot, but the tuner has helped me with reducing and almost eliminating knock, except when it's in a hot day. And yeah, it's very good. I'm happy with my purchase. Well, not happy with the price, but the deal was that I bought the car for 26,000 with a trade-in, and it was my fault that I ended up not trading in my Kia Sorento to the used car dealer. I sold it outside myself to a private buyer, and I had to proceed with buying this car at the agreed price of 26,000. Had I not had that deal, that trade-in deal initially, I probably have bought this car cheaper. But anyway, that's going back in the past. We don't want to talk about that anymore. There's not much noise coming in from the external elements. Tires a bit short. I could do with a replacement tire. not since I bought the car. Aside from that, comfort, ride height is good. I don't have to worry much about clearing speed bumps, parking and up on top of curbs when I have to, and going through flooded areas in Malaysia roads. As you know, we have torrential rain very often, and our roads flood all the time, so no issues there. Yeah, so future upgrades on this car is coming up soon. You will see them. I will try to video them as the car goes into the workshop and work goes into progress. I will have a Evo subframe installed to stiffen up the car. From what I hear, it's a huge improvement in handling and making the car stiffer. Steering rack will also follow, so eliminate the slight sloshy feel. Hopefully I get more direct driving feel and more dynamic steering. Turbo with an Evo 7 GTA turbine, TD05, including the exhaust extractor, as well as the radiator to an aluminum radiator, because the bigger turbo gets in the way with the stock Airtrek radiator fan. So you have to actually replace the fan if you want to continue using the radiator, but I found a good deal which came complete, lock, stock and barrel, everything all in. The deal also comes with a complete new interior, well, new to me, but it's a used interior. Comes with fully adjustable body shift body shift absorbers, high-low, soft-hard, rebound damping, Evo 7 front mount intercooler, rally out rear muffler, I will also be able to install my Evo 8 cams and an Evo 7 transfer case. Now, a lot of people say that the weakness of the Airtrek is its transfer case. Well, the difference between the Airtrek transfer case and the Evo transfer case is that the Evo transfer cases have a vane design in its diff, which allows more oil to flow through, thus making it more robust, and versus the Airtrek, which doesn't have vanes, which does not allow the oil to go through as well as good as the Evo transfer case, making it overheat and exposing it to be able to strip itself. Also, these cars are old already, and the Airtrek is heavier than Evo, so all this comes into play and makes the gearbox less robust than the Evo's gearbox. Transfer case in the Evo bearings in the Evo's transfer case are also bigger, the Airtrek's transfer case bearings. So those are all the differences, and that is why I would like to upgrade them so that I have no breakdown issues in the future. So it's a preventative measure and performance upgrade as well. Let's boost. There you go. 0.8 bar boost. This thing goes, it's not bad. We're also at the speed limit already, so let's take it easy. There's a lot of traffic on the road. It's almost mid-morning. It's 10:15 in the morning at the moment, and yeah, I hope I've covered all the frequently asked questions about the Airtrek in comparison to a upgraded Airtrek, but albeit Evo 7 GTA because of its turbo. I opted for Evo 7 GTA Turbo is because of its responsiveness. again, I'm using this car as a daily driver. I love the responsiveness of the turbo. I have no issues with not having boost. I like boost on tap on my feet, and yeah, that's why I've gone with the Evo 7 GTA Turbo. I think that will be ideal for me. Alright, stay tuned. The next video will be coming up very soon. If you enjoyed my video, click like and subscribe.